Video Sports and the TSSAA present the 1992 Clinic Bowl from Dudley Field on the campus of Vanderbilt University. It's the AAA football state championship game between the Gallatin Green Wave and the Clinton Dragons. I'm Steve Lusk along with Billy Ringgold to bring you tonight's game. Billy, a great championship matchup for tonight.
Well, the polls told us all year long that these were the two best teams in the state. And evidently they were right. Gallatin comes into this game ranked number 1, Clinton number 2, both teams undefeated at 14-0.
These two programs have really gotten things going in their way the last couple of years.
Well, you've heard about Gallatin, obviously. They were last year's runner-up. They're 28-1 over the last 2 years. No stranger to the playoffs. They have just a tremendous football tradition. Clinton is 22-3 over the last 2 years. They're ranked number 11 in the country by the USA Today. And they're a relatively relative newcomer to the playoffs, but they've been doing things right up there the last 2 or 3 years.
Who are some of the players we're going to watch for in tonight's game?
Well, for Gallatin, they're going to run basically out of the I formation. They've got a great tailback in Jeremy McMurray. He's over 2,000 yards rushing on the season. A very fine quarterback in Lauren Lassiter. He's passed for over 1,200 yards and rushed for over 500. He's very talented. And then you've got a guy, number 6, Calvin Hall, a great wide receiver, 39 catches on the year. Defensively, they're tough. They have an all-state defensive lineman in Brent Silcox and a good linebacker in Jody Inman, who's led the team in tackles. Clinton also runs from the I formation, basically. They have a tailback named Scotty Witt, number 11. Scotty has over 1,400 yards this season, and he missed about 3.5 games. Their quarterback, Darren Scarborough, passed for 1,300 yards. He may be the key to this game, how well he plays and the decisions that he makes. They've also got someone else in the backfield that keeps you from keying on Scotty Witt. Jason Leinart does an excellent job at his fullback position, and he will be a key in this game. Defensively, they run the 40. Jason Rohde is a linebacker, does a very fine job, and 2 defensive linemen, Roddy Adkins and Greg Stennett, do a great job. They're a defense that might give up some yards, but they very rarely break and give up the score.
Before the game, we had a chance to talk to both coaches from both teams about their keys to victory for tonight's game. First, let's hear from Gallatin's Calvin Short. And now let's hear from Jimmy Gaylor from Clinton. The officials for tonight's game are from Clarksville, Tennessee. The referee is Don Berry. The umpire is Jackie Swan. The linesman is Ernie Briggs. The line judge is Ray Johnson. The back judge is Joe Grisham. And the electric clock operator is Russell Mang. The chain crew is also from Clarksville.
Your captains for tonight's game for Clinton, number 11, Scotty Witt, number 33, Jason Rohde, number 57, Benji Smith, and number 80,
captains for tonight's game for Gallatin. Number 27, Doug Hall, the free safety. Number 51, Brian Cook, the center. And number 74, Alfonso Workings, the offensive guard. For Clinton, the captains, number 11, Scotty Witt. Number 33, Jason Leinart. Number 57, Benji Smith. And number 80, Teddy Phillips. Clinton has won the toss, and they have elected to receive. And so they will have the ball in the first possession of the Class AAA championship game. Joining us for tonight's game is Greg Lusk. Greg, what will the two teams have to do offensively to be successful tonight?
Well, I think the big play may be the major factor for both teams. Both teams must stop their opponent's big weapons. Clinton and Gallatin have tailback-oriented offenses, so it will be important for both teams to establish the tailback in the offensive schemes. And this will open up the passing routes, especially in play-action situations. I feel probably the team who makes the fewest mistakes and gives their opponent the fewest opportunities will definitely have the most success.
Gallatin will kick off. There is a breeze, it looks like right now, at the back of Gallatin. And so they'll be kicking with the wind at game time. The temperature is in the mid-30s, and it's a cool but an excellent night for football here for a championship game.
It obviously hasn't affected the crowds for either team. They're out in full force tonight.
Chris Mullins, number 22, will be kicking off for Gallatin. Deep to receive could be Bronson Woods, number 40, for Clinton. Also back there with him, Jason Leinert and Cliff Daniels. Mullins has it up on the tee now. And we're underway in the championship game for 1992. It's coming to Leinert down at the 10. He tries to run it up the middle to the 20, cuts across the 23. The ball's fumbled. And there's a scramble for the loose ball, and the officials are indicating that Clinton has maintained possession, actually gained a couple of yards on the fumble, and they'll have it 1st and 10 from the 20. Let's set the offense for Clinton. The line consists of Greg Stennett, Benji Smith, Jason Rohde, Mike Moy, and Scott Page. The tight end is Teddy Phillips. The receivers are Jason Watson and Dontrell Witt. The quarterback is Darren Scarborough, and the tailback is Scotty Witt. The fullback is Jason Leinert. The pitch is to Witt. He cuts it back at the 25 up to about the 27, maybe the 28, and it'll be 2nd down and 8. Let's set the defensive lineup for Gallatin. First of all, the nose guard is Bernard Smith. The tackles are Jackie Gann and Jimmy Hill. The defensive ends are Tyrone Smith and Brent Silcox. The linebackers are Jody Inman and Steve Chaffin, and the cornerbacks are Keith Goodrich and Lauren Lassiter. The strong safety is Ed Banks in his 42nd consecutive start, and the free safety is Doug Hall. Looks like that quarterback Scarborough is making some adjustments at the line. There's a screen pass out here to Leinert. He breaks one tackle. He's across the 35, up to the 40, and out to the 41, maybe even the 42-yard line. Back there to try to get in on the play for Gallatin was number 58, Chaffin, I believe. And Leinert eluded him at about the 30-yard line and took it 10 or 11 more yards up to the 41 when it'll be 1st down and 10 for the Dragons.
Well, give Benji Smith some credit there. He did not completely keep the defender out, but he got enough of him to spring the running back to get the good yardage.
Scarborough pumps, and he's going long to Witt. Witt's open. The receiver, the defender fell down. Witt's got it all by himself at the 25. He's going to score a touchdown from 59 yards away, and Clinton, with 10:22 to go in the first quarter, has taken a 6-0 lead over the Gallatin Green Wave.
Well, we told you that Clinton was a tailback-oriented team. That's not the way they've been usually using Scotty Witt, but he is very capable as a receiver, and that time the hitch and go absolutely pulled the defense in, and he was wide open. All that had to be done was catch the ball and run the rest of the way.
When Witt caught it, he was almost like, is there nobody around here? And he almost stumbled. He was so wide open. But he strolled into the end zone, and Clinton leads 6-0. And they are lining up apparently to go for 2. No, now Dontrell Witt comes onto the field. He has to get a kicking shoe on his left foot. Holding for Clinton is number 6, Jason Watson. The snap is down, the kick is up. It's not pretty, but it's through, and 7-0 at the 10:22 mark of the first quarter. Clinton over Gallatin.
I have 75 yards in 3 plays. The big play, of course, is a touchdown pass from Scarborough to Witt for 59 yards. The extra point makes it 7-0.
Dontrell Witt's kickoff is taken at the 12-yard line by number 24. I believe, for Gallatin. No, correction, number 26 for Gallatin, Brian Black. He took it from the 12 just about to the 20-yard line, a return of 8 yards. It'll be first and 10, Green Wave at that point. For the Green Wave, Brian Cook is the center, Joey Plunkett and Alfonso Workings are the guards, Randall Silcox and Michael Robinson are the tackles. The tight end is Wesley Inman. The slot back is Josh Fisher. The receiver is Calvin Hall. The quarterback is Lauren Lassiter, and the fullback is Jody Inman. The tailback is Jeremy McMurray. Lassiter takes the snap from center and pushes it forward for a gain of about 1. Let's set the Clinton defense that made the stop there. The tackles are Ronnie Adkins and Greg Stinnett. The ends are Benji Smith and Teddy Phillips. The outside linebackers are Cliff Daniels and Bronson Woods. The inside linebackers are Jason Rohde and Jason Leinert. The cornerbacks are Jason Gallagher and Yock Weaver. And the free safety is Scotty Witt. It'll be second down at about 8 or 9 after a pickup of 1 or 2 there by Lauren Lassiter. Lassiter drops straight back to pass, looking for Hall over there, and he's got it at the 30-yard line. Breaks one tackle, but then slipped as he was trying to cut back across the grain, and he fell down at about the 33-yard line, but it's enough for a first down for Gallatin.
Great call by Gallatin. You've got a guy like Calvin Hall with the speed that he has. They isolate him out there and get the ball out to him very quickly. Really a threat to go all the way every time he touches the ball. He's caught 39 passes this year for over 900 yards, around 25 yards a catch every time he gets the ball.
We're at the 9-minute mark of the first quarter, and there's already been a whole lot of action in this AAA state championship game. They give us to McMurray, the tailback, and he found very little running room over there on the left side of the line. He was hit and slammed back by Bronson Woods and a number of other Dragons over there. Might have gained a yard, but he did well to get back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be second and long.
Well, both running plays that Gallatin has run, we've seen the interior line of Clinton really rise up and stop the play. They are very strong up front, as we pointed out. Adkins and Stinnett are very fine at their defensive guard, defensive tackle spot. And right now, the outside play is what the Gallatin has had this work for them. They may have to do something like that to get McMurray outside or go back to Hall.
They give to the fullback Inman. He's got some room cutting across the grain back to the 45, and he's tackled out at about the 48-yard line. That's enough for a first down. Pickup of about 13 or 14 on the play. It'll be first and 10 for the Green Wave at the 48-yard line.
Gallatin is really trying to spread Clinton out with their formation and trying to run the football without a tight end blocking for their tailback and for their fullback.
Whistle on the field, and a timeout has been asked for by the officials. I believe what happened there was that the Clinton sideline was having trouble with the headphones, and so the officials had a discussion there. They were going to ask the Gallatin bench as well to do away with the headphones, but then they got them going again, so we're back to normal. That gives us to McMurray, and he goes from the 48 across midfield, just barely nosing the ball over into Clinton territory, just across the 50-yard line, a pickup of about 2, and it'll be second down and 8.
Benji Smith made the tackle for the Dragons, again holding to McMurray to a couple yards on first down, and if you can keep him in that situation, you've done a good job.
Lassiter drops back to pass. He's looking back to the left side. The receiver is there and just overthrown. Pretty well played out there by Gallagher. They looked to the right for that quick out like they had just thrown to Calvin Hall a couple of plays before, and then he went back to the left side, and streaking down the sideline for the Green Wave was Lamont Chumley, a sophomore. He was open, but Gallagher got over there and tipped the ball away. Even if he hadn't been there, I believe the pass was slightly overthrown. But a well-conceived play.
Well, you did a good job closing, and you're very right. If he doesn't get over there, you got to look at it a touchdown.
Tight end is in the game now on the left-hand side. screen pass out to the left. That's McMurray. He's got it at the 45, is knocked forward very close to the first down at about the 43. He needs to get to the 42 and maybe just a few inches beyond, and they're going to call timeout and ask for a measurement.
I'll take a look at this. And while they do so, we would like to remind you that in the unlikely need that you would need emergency medical assistance, there will be a medical attendant on duty.
Because we're in pretty good shape on the screen pass until Michael Robinson got out there and threw a block that made the whole thing work.
Big fourth down play. They may try to draw him off sides here. Lassiter takes it and goes right up the middle and was knocked backward, but with his second effort, I think he got forward for enough for a first down. He had to cross the 42 just slightly, and I believe he got all the way down to the 41. If he did, it'll be a pickup of about 2 yards and a 1st and 10 for the Green Wave.
Benji Smith and Teddy Phillips both got penetration there and really caused a problem right there in the middle of the field, and it looked like he might be short, but as you pointed out, he put his head down, and he is a very fine runner. He's got a lot of heart, a very fine competitor, and he got in there and got enough.
Wesley Inman, the tight end, is split wide to the left. Now they're running back on a counter play to McMurray, and as he got the ball in the backfield, he slipped or tripped just a little bit there, stumbled slightly, and was able to gain maybe a yard, just the length of the football inside the 40. It'll be 2nd down and 9.
Scott Page, a 6'1", 270-pound senior in the game, made that tackle.
Lassiter under pressure and now is finally sacked. First one to get a hand on him there for Clinton was Charles Van Valkenburg, number 83, and he just would not be denied. And then he got a lot of help from his Dragon teammates, and the loss is all the way back to the 48-yard line of Gallatin. It'll be 3rd down and approximately 12 yards or so for a first down. I'm sorry, 20 yards or so for a first down.
There's an example of some of the depth and the athletes that Clinton has. There's a player, Charles is not a starter per se, but he comes in and does a fine job and really causes a big loss in that situation.
Well, they've shown the ability to go a couple deep all the way across that defensive front especially. 3rd and long for Gallatin. They're looking for Hall. He's there, and the pass is intercepted by Scotty Witt at the 29-yard line. He's got some room to roam. He fumbles the football, and there's a scramble for it, and I think Clinton got it back around the 41-yard line of Gallatin, and there's a big break. Again, Scotty Witt, a big player making a big play, and returns it all the way into Gallatin territory. Fortunately, the fumble did not hurt as Dragon was there to fall on the loose ball.
Clinton rather was in a man-on-man defensive coverage on Hall. However, the quarterback did not see the free safety coming up, and he made an excellent interception there.
Jason Gallagher recovered the fumble to maintain possession for the Dragons.
And now they're in their base formation set, the I formation with the tight end and 2 receivers, and they pitch it back to Witt, and he's got some room on the right side. Well, actually didn't have a lot of room over there, as Jody Inman and also in there for Gallatin on defense, number 46. Might have been 48, I guess it was, Brent Silcox, the defensive end on that side. We're there to make the stop. Apparently, gain of about 1 or 1.5 on the play. Let's call it a gain of 1. It'll be 2nd down and 9. We're at the 4:08 mark of the first quarter in the Fast AAA championship game. Fake is to Witt. A lot of pressure on Scarborough, and he's going to be sacked back at the 45-yard line. A number of Gallatin defenders there, led by Jimmy Hill. Bernard Smith was there, also Jackie Gann. That's the interior 3 for the Green Wave defense, and they had some help from the outside as well. Loss of 6 on the play. It'll be 3rd down and 15.
Dontrell Witt had gone down and come across the middle and was really open, but the pressure by Gallatin didn't allow Scarborough to look around and find his receiver.
Witt comes wide to the left now, and he has single coverage. Scarborough has a man open long downfield but couldn't see him. Dontrell Witt came open, but again, the pressure was there from those two interior linemen, Jimmy Hill and Bernard Smith. Silcox was also there with the pressure, and they sacked Scarborough once again. And that's just a case of the best pass defense being a good pass rush.
Well, there was also some coverage downfield where Scarborough originally looked that caused him some problems. Over on the right side, things were pretty covered up for a little while there, and the defensive pressure finally got to him. And Gallatin's defense steps up. After the turnover where Clinton is going to have a short field, they step up and calls the punt.
Yock Weaver is punting from the 50-yard line, taken at the 14 there by Calvin Hall. He breaks tackles and is out past the 25-yard line to about the 27, maybe even the 28-yard line, where to be first down and 10 for the Green Wave.
And then driven out by number 33, Jason Leonard.
Timeout on the field asked for once again by the officials.
Weaver's punt for 36 yards, the return for 14. And Gallatin is on about their own 26, 27-yard line. It's going to be a long field for them.
There's a situation where the guard and the tackle for Gallatin pulled and blocked for McMurray, and he took it from the 27. Line of scrimmage might have even been the 28-yard line all the way out to the 33-yard line, maybe the 34, in fact. Pickup of 6, it'll be second down and 4.
When McMurray gets the ball, he sure can accelerate quick, and Benji Smith did a real good job of catching hold of his jersey and just holding on to bring him down.
Not the biggest tailback in the world, but he certainly is quick and a good, tough runner inside. There's McMurray again running with some blocking in front. He cuts back across the grain, and he's in the open, and a good move out there, but a good tackle as well by Scotty Witt right near midfield as he got up to about the 49-yard line, and that'll be enough for a Gallatin first down.
On that particular formation, the tight end and the slot man were on the same side, and in the film that we saw, we noted that most of the time they'll run behind that power, and there was a case where the blocking overwhelmed the defensive front for Clinton, and McMurray got in the secondary.
Alfonso Workings was out there leading the way for McMurray as well, and he threw a good block to allow McMurray to cut back against the grain.
And they're in the same type formation again, and if trends hold true, they're putting the man in motion now.
Lassiter back to pass and throws to that motion man who was number 19, Josh Fisher, and Fisher goes down to near the first down to about the 41, and on the tackle there's a flag that came in. We'll just wait and see what the infraction is. The official indicates face mask against the Dragons, and if that's the case, that'll be tacked on to the gain of 9 yards by Lassiter to Fisher.
Gallatin does an excellent job in using the motion. In that time when Fisher went out, no one came over with him, and just wide open right in the flat. He got a 9-yard gain on that play, and then the 15-yard penalty really hurts.
Well, this is an excellent opportunity now for Gallatin to get back in the football game. Not that they're out of it by any means, but still down by 7-0 with about a minute to go in the first quarter. Here's their first really good chance at the football game. There's Workings and Inman, the fullback, leading the way once again for McMurray. He goes from the 26 down inside the 20 to about the 19. They're going to put him down right at the 20. Well, now let's call it the 19. To pick up of 7 on the play. It'll be second down and 3. Lassiter gives to McMurray, and he runs left behind that power. He's still on his feet, down to about the 10, spinning, and he's going to be knocked down at that point, very near the 10-yard line. I believe he's just outside the 10-yard line. And again, it'll be a first and 10 situation for the Gallatin Green Wave. Let's go down to the sideline and meet the Gallatin cheerleaders.
This is a situation where the Clinton defense has risen up all year long. Against Oak Ridge in particular, they were inside their own 25-yard line, inside Clinton's 25-yard line 5 times. Clinton refused to allow them to score, and it's happened numerous times throughout the playoffs where once they got inside the 10-yard line, they toughened up and prevented their opponent from getting points on the board.
That's the end of the first quarter with the score Clinton 7, Gallatin nothing.
In the first quarter, Gallatin 75 total yards, Clinton 66, very even game. Clinton does have the big play for the touchdown.
Give us to McMurray off the left side, and he battles down inside the 5 or about to the 5-yard line. The ball was just outside the 10 at maybe touching the 11-yard line, and so they can get a first down just inside the 1. He picked up about 6 on that play. Let's call it 2nd down and 4.
Well, that's a big first down play. You're obviously in a situation now where your play calling is a lot easier with a 2nd 4, a 2nd short. McMurray is obviously one of the keys here, but also Lassiter runs the ball a lot on the goal line. They're not too far away from maybe the quarterback sneaking a couple times.
Give us to McMurray, and he runs behind that left side of the line, and there wasn't a whole lot there that time. The Clinton defense really rose up and stopped him in there. He might have gained 1 down to the 4, but that's about all. It'll be 3rd down and let's call it 3.5 yards. Just underway in the second quarter here in the Class AAA championship game for 1992. The power side with the tight end and the slot back is to the left. Slot back is Fisher. The fake is to McMurray, and Lauren Lassiter still has it. And as he looked to make his cut at the 5, he slipped and fell down at about the 4. Frankly, he might have saved himself some punishment there because it looked like Clinton had read that play pretty well.
Well, he obviously wanted to tuck it up and get in there and get as much as he could, knowing that he wasn't going to make it to the outside. Just lost his foot.
It's 4th down, and it looks like that Gallatin is going to go for it. They've got Ashley Brooks in there at the slot back, and the power is to the left side. Big play in the football game. Lassiter rolls out to the right. Looking, pressured. He pitches back to McMurray. McMurray's going to take it in for the touchdown. What a heads-up play by Lauren Lassiter. He was about to be sacked at about the 10 or 11-yard line. Saw McMurray standing there and just pitched it back to him, and McMurray went untouched around the left end for the score with 9:41 to go in the first half. Gallatin is on the scoreboard.
Well, Ashley Brooks went in motion, and they were hoping to throw the same pass they threw him a moment ago when the man went in motion and no one picked him up, but Clinton did a good job picking him up. In fact, everyone was covered, and the defensive pressure finally got to Lassiter, and what a heads-up play, really. His thinking through that is the only thing that got him a touchdown.
On to attempt the extra point is Chris Mullins. Lassiter is the holder, and Brian Cook is the long snapper. Mullins is an excellent kicker. And the snap is down, the kick is up, and the kick is good. And with 9:41 to go in the first half, the score is Clinton 7, Gallatin 7.
Now drive 9 plays, 72 yards, resulting in a 4-yard touchdown run by Jeremy McMurray.
Gallatin did a good job on that drive using their power to take the ball into the end zone. They diversified their running plays, did a good job of using their tailback, and I think their line did a really good job executing in that drive.
That's one thing that Coach Jimmy Gaylor was concerned about, not allowing the Gallatin strength in the interior line to just push them out of the way in there, and he wanted to find a way, before the game, he wanted to find a way to stop that power. Mullins is set to kick off now, and he does down to about the 15-yard line. It's bobbled there. The ball is picked up finally on the left-hand side over there by an up back. That's number 37, Eddie Robinson for Clinton. And that was quite an interesting play. It looked like number 34 for the Dragons, Cliff Daniels, had the ball. It went through his hands and bounced up, and Robinson found himself with the ball and just decided, let's go north and south with it, and took it up the field up to about the 40-yard line, where to be 1st and 10 for the Dragons.
Well, we've already seen Eddie Robinson on a couple plays here in special teams. He was on the tackle on the opening kickoff, and they're a great return to set Clinton up with good field position.
Gallatin is really bunched near the line of scrimmage. They give it to Scotty Witt, and there is nothing there, absolutely nothing. In there for the stop was, among others, Jimmy Hill and I think Bernard Smith. And we've already called those two guys' names several times this evening. Let's go down to the Clinton sideline and meet the Clinton Dragon cheerleaders. Second and 10 for the Dragons from the 40-yard line after the gain of nothing by Witt. The pass is overthrown, almost picked off, but broken up, intended for Gallagher down there. He actually looked like he broke his pattern off a little early, or the ball sailed on Scarborough, one of the two. And the Gallatin defender, Doug Hall, had a better chance of catching that one than anybody back there. It'll be 3rd down and 10 with 8:48 to go in the first half. After the opening drive success by the Dragons, it seems that the momentum of this game has shifted back to the Gallatin side just a little bit. There's been very little production since then. Scarborough wanted to go deep again, but the pressure was there, and leading the way was number 78, Jimmy Hill, along with Jackie Gann, and it looked like number 58, Stephen Chaffin, as well.
I think Brent Silcox, number 48, was also there. And it may be that Clinton's got to cut their patterns off a little bit because the long patterns are taking too long to develop. And right now, Gallatin's getting great pressure in those situations.
Gallatin has moved their tackles down inside and trying to stop the inside running there of Clinton. And also, like you say, that's creating more pressure on the quarterback.
Weaver is back to punt, and his left-footed punt is away. Calvin Hall picks it up at the 24-yard line looking for something, gets up the sideline to about the 31-yard line where he stepped out of bounds with 8:02 to go in the first half. It'll be Gallatin's ball, 1st and 10.
41-yard punt, 7-yard return.
Gallatin has dominated the time of possession as they've already run 20 plays in the football game to only 11 for Clinton. That time the fullback Inman takes it up and crosses the 40-yard line, and he's very close to a first down on the quick opener up the middle. I believe he's going to be about the length of a football short.
Obviously this year the Gallatin offense is keyed around McMurray, and rightly so, but there you see an example of what Jody Inman can do. He's a very solid blocker, and he can get you that yardage up the middle, and it makes it impossible for Clinton to key on McMurray.
Well, they always have the threat of Calvin Hall, who is now split wide to the left out here. He looks like he's drawing some double coverage over here.
The wing formation now is to the right. Again, that's where they usually like to run behind that formation.
There's McMurray. The ball is loose, and that time the ball bounced in favor of the Green Wave. I think that's Inman who fell on the ball. I believe maybe Leinert was there for the hit. I don't know exactly who popped the ball free, but very fortunately for the Green Wave, Jody Inman fell on it at about the 41.5. That's enough for a 1st and 10 for Gallatin.
Well, it's an unusual way to draw up a first down play, but very effective.
And Gallatin's going to that power formation and running behind that power formation. They're doing a good job at the front blocking.
Inman is the tight end to the right, and they have two receivers split wide left now. The ball is zipped out in the flat to Calvin Hall, and he stretched out and caught it at about the 46-yard line. A pickup of nearly 5 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 5. on a really great catch that time by Calvin Hall. Good hands.
It really was. He laid himself out as far as he could go and pulled the ball in. He was the far receiver to the boundary and just went down about 5 yards and stopped, and Lassiter hit him for a quick 4 or 5 yard gain.
Well, Lassiter is not your prototypical build for a quarterback. He's probably doing well to make the 5'9", 180 listing that they have for him in the program, but he's got quite an arm, and he zipped that one out in the flat to Hall. There's a penalty flag on the play that came from the back judge, and I believe there's going to be a delay of game penalty against the Green Wave.
Gallatin had come out with 3 receivers, twins to the wide side and a single receiver down to the short side of the field.
Second about 10 after the 5-yard step off. The delay that time to McMurray, and it didn't fool the Dragons, as in there to mess things up for the Clinton Dragon, for the scheme of things for Gallatin, was Scott Page, number 79. And I don't know if he got a piece of the ball carrier or not, but he really messed up the interference in there.
Well, Jason Rohde wrapped him up with the tackle, but you're right, the penetration really caused a problem on the play.
Third and long, actually no gain on the play, and so it'll be 3rd and 10 with 5:44 to go in the first half. We're tied at 7. Lassiter drops straight back, under some pressure now, rolls out to elude the pressure, throws it over the middle to intended for Hall, but the breakup was there by number 14, Yock Weaver, who came from his corner position on the this side, the short side of the field, and played the ball beautifully and broke that one up, and it'll be 4th and 10. Gallatin will bring on Jody Inman to punt. Back to receive should be Gallagher. He has returned punts all year for the Dragons. Got 10 men on the line to rush. They get some pressure on Inman, but he gets the punt away. Not a great one, but it takes a good roll. Gallagher acted like he wanted to pick it up, and maybe he wishes he had now as it rolls dead, or still not dead. It's rolling inside the 20. Inside the 19, and is touched at about the 18-yard line. Picked up there by number 8 for Gallatin, Ed Banks. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Dragons.
For 41 yards, and it backs Clinton up for another long field.
Well, it wasn't pretty, but it was effective by Inman. Clinton's in a power I formation. They've got both those fullbacks, Daniels and Leinert, in there. But knifing through from the other side was number 58, Stephen Chaffin, and he tripped up Scotty Witt in the backfield. I think he might have been lost a yard. Back to the 17. It'll be 2nd down and 11. .420 to go in the first half. Right now, Clinton's struggling to find something that'll work offensively. The power I formation is set now to the left side. The tight end is set to the right. There's a little bit of a reverse action to the wingback, who was Leinert, and the flow of the tailback and the fullback went to the left. Leinert came back to the right and found a decent seam over there out across the 20-yard line to the 21. Pick up about 4, but it'll still be about 8 yards short of a first down. It'll be 3rd and 8.
Well, they'll do some different things out of this power I. It's not just a running formation. They'll do something like we just saw there, a little reverse type action. Or they'll also put one of the fullbacks out in the flat for a pass. So it's a pretty imaginative little formation they use.
Scarborough dropped back to pass, looking for Witt over there, but they're saying that he was down. Another sack for the Gallatin defense, and that might have been, was that Ed Banks in there with the pressure, or Calvin Hall perhaps?
I think Jimmy Hill was there with the pressure, and to help him out was Calvin Hall. Came in and put some pressure on.
So Hall and Lassiter will drift back deep to receive the punt with about 2 minutes and 50 seconds to go in the first half. And Gallatin should come out of this with real good field position. A low punt that is fielded by Hall. He reverses his field now and picks up a blocker over there, eludes one man at the 45, and is wrestled down from behind by Cliff Daniels, but not before he gained about 7 or 8 yards on the return to the 40-yard line with 2:35 to go in the first half. Gallatin will have the ball at that point, 1st and 10.
This is the best field position for Gallatin so far, starting on the Clinton 41-yard line.
They've got their wing back set to the right. The tight end is to the left, so this is a little bit more of a balanced formation. They give the ball off the left side to McMurray. He spins out of one tackle and goes down to the 35-yard line. That's a pickup of about 6 on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 4, and a good job of second effort running that time by McMurray for the Green Wave.
Scott Page in on the tackle for the Dragons after about a 6-yard gain.
We're at the 2-minute mark of the first half. We're tied up in this football game between the Clinton Dragons and the Gallatin Green Wave. Now 3 receivers in the game, no tight end for the Green Wave. The give is up the middle to Inman. He's got some room. He was tripped up just as he crossed the 30-yard line. I couldn't tell who might have stuck out a hand there to trip him up, or if, in fact, he just lost his footing. He got more than enough for the first down as he stumbled down to the 28. It'd be 1st and 10 for the Green Wave from that point.
That is definitely what Gallatin has been trying to do all game by spreading out the Clinton defense. That time they did find the seam and gave it to the fullback, and he got some good yardage for the first down.
We're getting to that part on the field where Gallatin is nearly in field goal range. Right now to be about a 45-yard field goal. Their kicker, Chris Mullins, has got a good leg. They have tried some field goals over 40 this year. The longest that he has made is 32 yards, so obviously they want to get closer. But as time runs down here in the half, they look like they're going to have an opportunity at least to try a field goal.
There's a timeout on the field as Gallatin takes a timeout with 1 minute and 4 seconds to go in the first half.
Which will give us an opportunity to once again recognize the sponsors of this Funny Goal and to express our gratitude for their continued support.
Second and 9 from the 27-yard line for Gallatin. They have 2 timeouts remaining. They run the option to the right, wanting to pitch it now due to McMurray, and he does a pretty good job to get back to the 25-yard line, and that is about all as the Clinton defense really reacted on that play.
Well, Bronson Woods did a good job very early in that play, getting in there and disrupting it. He did not make the tackle, but he threw spin McMurray where his teammates had an opportunity to close and make the tackle.
With 47 seconds to go in the first half, Gallatin takes their 2nd timeout. It's 3rd and 8 with 47 seconds to go in the first half. Big play for both Gallatin and Clinton. Clinton needs to have a stop here, and Gallatin wants to get something else on the board. Lassiter drops back to pass. He slips under pressure from, who was that? Number 79, Scott Page, putting pressure on the quarterback right up the middle. Also had some help from Bubba Longmire, number 74, in the game as well there. And the pass falls incomplete, so it'll be 4th down and 8. The ball is at the 26-yard line. So at this point, it'll be a 43-yard field goal attempt, and they don't look like they're getting Mullins into the game to try that one. The wind, what wind there is, would be in his face, at least it appears from here, from the press box. Down on the field in a stadium like this, the wind may be swirling around, and so it's very hard to tell the direction of the wind, but it appears that it'd be in his face, and so that might have affected the decision of Coach Short. There's a penalty flag on the play, and once again, Gallatin is guilty of a delay. Yeah, 5-yard step off here, and that will definitely put them out of field goal range. Back to the 31-yard line. It'll also make it 4th and 13 and make that first down possibility much more difficult as well.
Obviously, in a situation like this with the talent that Gallatin has, you don't know exactly who to key on, but you've got to think Calvin Hall is going to be a big part of this play.
This time they split the backs, and Inman is the fullback directly behind the quarterback, and McMurray is sort of behind the tackle on the left. McMurray's going out on the pass, and he is open in the middle of the field, and it's complete down to the 10, down to the 5. Touchdown, Jeremy McMurray on a 31-yard pass from Lauren Lassiter with 35 seconds to go in the first half. Gallatin leads now 13-7 over the Dragons.
Tremendous lift for Gallatin to close the half out so strongly, to go into the locker room with points on the board. Just a tremendous lift on a 4th and long situation.
4th and 13, and they sort of set the back out outside the tackle, and he just ran out of the backfield and got bumped going downfield. Pretty good bump and run coverage, but then he ran past the linebacker, and Lassiter found him, and nobody could catch him. Took it into the end zone for the score.
Very possible that Clinton was thinking just like I was to cover Calvin Hall.
Mullins' extra point attempt is up and good, and so with 35 ticks to go in the first half, Gallatin leads Clinton 14-7.
Drive 41 yards in 8 plays. Of course, the big play was a 31-yard pass from Lassiter to McMurray. And as you pointed out, Greg, the field position really set up this drive.
That's right. Clinton, in his first possession, they scored by throwing a pass to their tailback. Gallatin returns the favor here.
And in both cases, they got it to those tailbacks by use of special formations or a little bit different formations. In Clinton's case, they split Witt out wide. In Gallatin's case, they used split backs to get McMurray into the free. The kickoff went out of bounds, so the penalty flag flies, and I think the situation will be that Clinton will get the ball at the 35-yard line, which is decent field position, and they'll have it 1st and 10 from that point with 65 yards of real estate ahead of them and only 35 seconds in which to operate.
Well, you would think that 35 seconds is not a lot of time, and it's truly not, but when you have a Scotty Witt, here's a guy that can go all the way in just one play.
Dontrell Witt is set out to the left, and the pass goes to him, and Hall covers him there, and he gets out of bounds as he got up to about the 38-yard line. A pickup of only 3 on the play, but it took only 6 seconds off the clock as 29 seconds remain in the first half.
Those type passes are the passes that have been successful for Clinton tonight. A lot of times they look like they've been looking long, and the Gallatin front line just has not allowed them to have the time to set those up. If you're Clinton now, you've got to think about getting extremely close to being in field goal range. They have kicked 2 field goals this year. They are not necessarily known for their strong strong field goal game.
The middle screen is thrown in there to Teddy Phillips, but it was read beautifully and tackled immediately after catching the pass for a loss of 1, and Clinton calls timeout with 19 seconds to go in the first half.
Timeout to set up the play and stop the clock, and you may see Gallatin here, if they're able to stop them, return the favor and call a timeout and try for the block punt.
Clinton has 2 timeouts left, and Gallatin has 1. That time Scarborough eludes the defensive pressure, trying to get outside to get out of bounds, but he's tackled inbounds, and the clock is still running, and now Gallatin is wanting to take a timeout. And it looks like they got it called. With 5 seconds to go in the first half, timeout was asked for by the Green Wave. On 4th and about 7, it looks like that Clinton is just going to snap the ball and kill the final 5 seconds as Gallatin has no timeouts remaining. They may go long with the pass. Scarborough steps up in the pocket, wants to run, and now the clock has expired, and That's the end of the first half with the score Gallatin 14, Clinton 7.
Anytime, y'all.
Gallatin has exercised their second half option to receive the football, and kicking off for the Dragons will be Dontrell Witt. Deep to receive for the Green Wave is number 7, Lamont Chumley. Ball is coming to the about the 10 or 12 yard line, and that was not Chumley deep, but I believe that was Keith Goodrich, number 10. He took it out to the 25 yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 for the Green Wave, opening the second half.
Obviously, Gallatin closed very quick. Very, very happy with the way they closed and going in at halftime ahead. They've got to know, though, that Clinton will not quit. This is a team that's won 21 games in a row, and almost every game through the playoffs. I know 3 and maybe all 4 of the games in the playoffs, they trailed at halftime or it was tied at half. So they've been in this situation before, and I'm sure they'll come out ready to play here in the second half.
Again, Gallatin looks to spread out the defense with the formation, and they give it to Inman up the middle. And that time, pretty good reaction by the Clinton defense, as Inman was able to get only about a yard. I think that time for the Dragon defense, it was Jason Rohde who was hanging on to Inman and got a little help there from his defensive teammates. After a pickup of 2, it'll be 2nd down and 8 for the Green Wave.
They have done a real good job on the defensive line. You mentioned Jason Rohde. He is an all-state performer on the offensive line, but also a very good defensive lineman.
This time they have a tight end and a slot back set to the left, and they run off the weak side away from that power side. They go from the 27 out to very near the 1st down. In fact, the officials are asking for a stoppage of the clock while the chains are being moved. It's a 1st and 10 for the Green Wave.
Cliff Daniels did a good time of hanging on and tackling McMurray. Called Cliff's name a lot from his outside linebacker position.
The power is to the left side again, and let's see, the last time they ran off to the weak side. This time they do run behind that power to McMurray, and he was looking for some room behind a block of number 74. That's Workings. Didn't get much room, but he did get about 2 yards out to the 37-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 8.
Scott Page on the tackle in that particular play. We saw Jason Gallagher come up real quick from his cornerback spot and kind of cut off that and turn that play back in. What will Clinton try to do to offset this power formation? Is there something, can you overload this side?
Well, basically they're doing what they should do. The quarterback is inside trying to help out. As soon as he leaves the sweep, he'll get up the field quick to set the corner and turn the play inside. The
give was up the middle to Inman, and he went from the 37 out to about the 40-yard line to pick up a 3. It'll be 3rd down, and 5 from that point. 9:36 to go in the 3rd quarter here in the Class AAA championship game for 1992. 14-7, Gallatin leads Clinton.
I guess Gallatin also has the option of going away from that power, too. If you load up too much on one side, they can always go the other way and possibly not have enough men over there. Clinton may not have enough men over there to stop the play.
The fake was to McMurray, and Lassiter wants to keep it outside. He does, and just as he was about to find an opening, Liner came up along with Gallagher and cut him down short of the 1st down, about 2 yards short, so a pickup of 3 on the play, but it'll be 4th down and 2 from the 43-yard line. 8:54 to go in the 3rd quarter. Gallatin's going to have to punt with Jody Inman.
And Clinton's defense comes up big here the first possession of the second half, and now Jason Gallagher's back, and you and I have seen from films that he's a very dangerous returner.
Yes, he is, and he's standing at about his 26-yard line, waiting to receive the Inman punt. Good snap. The punt is away under some pressure from Weaver, and it takes a Gallatin roll. Gallagher gets away from it, and now it bounces back in Clinton's favor, and it's going to be down by Banks at about the 23-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Dragons at that point.
Around a 35-yard punt for Inman, and although it may not have been particularly pretty, that's the total result of the punt. That's net, so the results are quite good.
I guess you take effective over beautiful any day. Give us the fullback up the middle, and that's Leinert, and he took it out to the 27-yard line. Pickup of about 4 on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 6.
I'm sure Clinton's in a situation where they like to get into their offense. We've only seen Scotty Witt carry the ball 4 times in the first half. He's been averaging about 15 carries a game, and then Leinert has also been pretty much limited here in the first half with just 1 carry. Primarily that's because Gallatin's had twice as many plays.
Time of possession was big in favor of the Green Wave in the first half. That time Leinert took it off the left side up to about the 30-yard line, and there to stop him for the Gallatin defense was number 75, and that's Jackie Gann.
Clinton on that play was trying to run off tackle and catch the defensive end out of position. Defensive ends for Gallatin have done an excellent job containing the Clinton running backs. And so Clinton now is trying to run inside, trying to take advantage of that running lane created there.
Calvin Hall is in there at one of those defensive ends, and he has not always played defense full-time for the Green Wave, so he's come up big for them. Here's a reverse. They're running it to Witt, looking for something outside, but there's just not much there. As you talked about those defensive ends, and that time we saw stay at home and make the play at about the 32-yard line. And it'll be 4th and let's call it 1.
Brent Silcox was in the tackle. He has 88 tackles for the year, so his nose is in there most times when the offense has the ball for their opponent.
In the 50 defense, that defensive end is responsible for staying at home for the reverse, so he did a good job there.
Lassiter and Hall, Calvin Hall, have drifted back for Gallatin to receive Yock Weaver's punt. It bounces at the 37 and is picked up by Lassiter at the 33-yard line, gets up to the 40-yard line, and he's tackled at that point after a return of 7 yards. With 6:07 to go in the third quarter, it's 1st and 10 for Gallatin, and Lassiter may be hurt on the play. Quarterback Lauren Lassiter got up and walked off the field under his own power, but looking over there across the way with the binoculars, I'm not sure if he knows where he is. Keith Goodrich is in the game, the defensive player, and he comes in to play quarterback. And the way Gallatin has been running the football, this may not be that much of an issue, except for the fact that it may allow Clinton to really load up against the run a little bit more even.
Well, you see right there what happens when you have a new quarterback. His cadence was probably a little bit different, and so therefore Gallatin was offsides, but that's just one of the things that happens when you have a different quarterback in the football game.
Keith has not thrown the ball much this season. He's 3 of 5 in the air. The one thing that he gives you in this game is the fact he has been in the game, so the jitters from the standpoint of not being in the game are gone. He does play cornerback, so he does have some game experience tonight, but Lauren Lassiter is such a valuable part of this team, and we hope he's doing well, and we'll be able to get back in.
The give was to McMurray off the right side, and that time Rhodey, no, it was Leinert, I believe, who was there to cut him down after actually a loss of 1 on the play. And so it'll be 2nd and about 16 or 17 from all the way back at the 33-yard line. They've got to get to midfield for the first down. We're approaching the 5-minute mark of the third quarter.
As a defense here, do you pretty much give up the pass and concentrate totally on the run, or are you that confident that that's what it's going to be?
I believe that's what you have to do at this particular juncture in the game with the new quarterback in there. This particular point on the field also.
Well, they look like they're selling out entirely to the run there, and they stop McMurray after a gain of only up to the 35-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 15 with 4:35 to go in the third quarter. Pickup of 2 on the play.
Of course, that is not bad coaching. You know, if the other quarterback is not hurt too bad, maybe come back in the next series, you definitely going to hurt yourself at this point.
Well, if I'm looking correctly, I see Lauren Lassiter sitting on the training table across the way with his shoulder pads off. And I don't know if they're attending to a specific injury that can receive some attention and then bring him back in, or if he's through for the evening. There's another illegal procedure penalty against the Green Wave, and so they're definitely out of sync with the new quarterback in there.
Also, with the new quarterback coming in the football game, it's kind of question maybe at this point how loose he is going to football. Maybe you have to consider. But they definitely put themselves in a hole right now here on third down.
Well, if you're Gallatin, you really have two things going for you. Steve, you pointed out the running game has been primarily the focus tonight anyway, but their defense has played so well too. So they're by no means out of this game, or is this game going to turn around drastically right away?
There he goes, throwing long downfield to Calvin Hall, but he threw it out of bounds, incomplete at about the 40-yard line. Plenty of arm strength on that one by Goodrich, but it sailed incomplete, and so it'll be 4th down and 20 from the 30-yard line. They'll be punting to Gallagher, who's standing back about his 41 or 42-yard line, and Inman will be punting, and Clinton should come out of this with pretty good field position if they make no mistakes, if Gallatin doesn't come up with a brilliant punt, and if they have no penalties on the play.
Good play call there by Gallatin. Good safe play call. And of course, they intercept the ball there just like a punt.
Leinert almost blocked it, but Gallagher gets it at the 44, and he's going to be tackled immediately after a gain of 1. In fact, may have lost 1. He caught it about the 44, and they're going to put the ball down at the 43. And so with 3:42 to go in the third quarter, Clinton will take over in great field position, trailing by 1 touchdown, 14-7. Leinert really got a lot of pressure on him in that time and nearly blocked the punt, was stretched out, but just got it away, and Clinton has good field position. This time Scarborough runs the option and keeps it and gets about 9 yards on the play, it looks like. He's going to be very close to a first down as he took him into Wave territory and is tackled at the 48-yard line. It'll be about 2nd and 1.5, 2 yards, something like that.
Something else that the loss of Lassiter does besides hurting your quarterback, of course, he was a starting cornerback, so that makes you lose a player on defense. I wonder if Scarborough doesn't need to do something like we just saw there. If the defense for Gallatin is so intent on stopping Witt, maybe he's the one to step forward and make the play.
Well, you would think that something else would be open, and we may have found they may have found the man there. They give us to the fullback, and there was absolutely nothing there. I know that Jody Inman was there. Also, Banks was there on the tackle, and perhaps Jackie Gann and Jimmy Hill, those defensive tackles as well, were there for the stop.
Gallatin did a good job on that play and walking an extra man up on the line of scrimmage, and Clinton definitely didn't have any place to run there. It looked like the quarterback might have checked off at the line of scrimmage to try to go to a different hole, but he was still unsuccessful.
Leinert did get about 1 yard, and so from a 2nd and nearly 2, it's 3rd and less than 1. And there's a whistle, and the Gallatin defender jumped. The Clinton lineman jumped as well, and we'll just have to see what the call is. Illegal procedure against Clinton.
What's a big penalty in this situation? It changes your entire outlook on this third down play. Instead of being able to go with the power I set and just put your fullbacks up there, have a chance of making, you're looking at least having to call a play that's going to more than likely go downfield some way, maybe even a pass.
Ball has been moved back to the Clinton side of the field, and so on 3rd and 6, the ball's at the 48-yard line. Back to pass to Scarborough, short drop, and catching it at the midfield stripe, maybe just a shade beyond, is number 6, Jason Watson, and he was tackled immediately after catching that ball, and so it'll be 4th down and about 3. They need to get to about the 46-yard line, and the ball is just across midfield.
Are you in a spot here where you could possibly fake a punt?
Well, it's always a possibility, but at this point I'd try for the field position other than the fake punt, but definitely the yardage is right for it.
Weaver gets the punt away, and it's a good one. Calling for and making the fair catch all the way back at about the 6 or 7-yard line is Calvin Hall, and that was approximately a 43, 44-yard punt for Weaver. The flag at the scoreboard end of the stadium is hanging limp. I don't know if there's much wind out there on the field or not, but Weaver certainly got all of that one. And racing back onto the field to the cheers of his Gallatin faithful is number 9, Lauren Lassiter.
Calvin Hall, if he has to do that over again, doesn't field that punt. The rule is you don't field a punt inside the 10-yard line, and the punt just drifted him back, and he may have lost sight of where he was and made the catch. Gallatin had great pressure on the punter, and maybe that's what made him get the punt off a little more power than usual.
The pitch is to McMurray, and I don't know how they could have, gotten more yardage off a pitch from Lassiter than they did off a pitch from Goodrich, but maybe that's sort of giving the Green Wave a little bit of a lift that Lassiter came back on the field after the injury just a few moments ago.
Well, I don't doubt that. This is a guy that has a lot of heart, and this team looks up to him. He's a great leader, and something like that can make a difference.
It's 1st and 10 from the 17-yard line for the Green Wave. Give us to the fullback, Inman, and there to tackle him at the 19 was Rhodey. We've called his name a lot today from his inside linebacker position. He's just played an outstanding game.
Well, both linebackers, both he and Linehart, both are very big parts of this defense. They make a lot of tackles. I've been very impressed with their defensive unit.
Limping off the field for Clinton was number 79, Scott Page, and he's had a good game defensively as well, especially putting pressure on the quarterback. And we certainly hope that his is not a very serious injury. Replacing him was Greg Stinnett. Give us to McMurray off the right side this time. He stumbles forward from the 20 out to about the 22, 23, and that's the end of the third quarter with Gallatin leading Clinton 14-7.
Quarters, Gallatin's total yardage is now 180. Clinton 64. Jeremy McMurray 21 carries, 87 yards.
Big third down play here for both teams. Gallatin wants to maintain possession. Clinton wants to get the ball back, and it's 3rd and 5. Lassiter drops back to pass. Looking downfield, has Calvin Hall completed the 35-yard line. He takes it up to the 39, and that's more than enough for a first down with 11:53 to go in the fourth quarter. It's 1st and 10 for the Green Wave.
Calvin just ran about a 15-yard route straight out the field and curled in there in between the defense and sat there and waited for the pass, and it was delivered right on target.
That's good play calling, a good pattern run against that zone defense that Clinton had. He just stopped his route short. Of course, the Clinton man has to respect his speed deep.
There's nothing really all that fancy about the Gallatin, or for that matter, the Clinton schemes, but they are both executing very well, and that's why this is a close, well-played football game. The give on the draw to McMurray. He's inside Clinton territory to the 40, down to the 30. He's thrown out of bounds by Scotty Witt at the 21-yard line. Big play for Gallatin's tailback, Jeremy McMurray.
Well, he finally got the seam there, the seam that they've been looking for all game long. He did a good job there of reading the hole and getting down the field. Just did an excellent job of running the football there.
That 39-yard run is going to put him well over the 100-yard mark for this football game.
.24 to go, and Gallatin knocking on the door once again, trying to take a 2-touchdown advantage, and they're already within field goal range for Mullins. Another score here would really put the pressure on the Clinton offense. The pitch is to McMurray, looking for a block. He goes from the 21 all the way, still on his feet, inside the 10-yard line, and he's knocked down, well, let's call it the 10. They put it down right on the 10-yard stripe. That's enough for a first down and 10 for the Gallatin Green Wave.
Tremendous blocking at the point of attack, and they really just overwhelmed him with numbers. It was just a great, really a great play call, and we've talked about that, the way they use the power to spring their runners, and when McMurray gets a little bit of steam, he's hard to bring down.
I said 1st and 10. Actually, the nose of the ball is across the 10-yard line, so they cannot get a first down. It's 1st and goal. 10:44 and counting on the game clock. Lassiter gives to McMurray. Inside that time, he went from the 10 down to about the 8. And Clinton really stacked it up on the inside. I see Daniels in there. I also see Rhodey. And also on the defensive line for Clinton, number 74, Bubba Longmire.
That's just an excellent job by Clinton by getting low there, creating the pile there to stop.
Also looked like Michael Moy was in on the stop as well, number 71. Goal line offense and defense in the game. There's McMurray, who cuts it back against the grain and scores from 8 yards out for the Green Wave of Gallatin. And it's now 20-7, and they bring on Mullins for the extra point attempt to try to add to this 13-point lead.
Tremendous blocking that time. Jody Emmett threw a great block, and Alfonso Workings was in there throwing a block. Their entire offensive line, really, for the entire game, has done a great job.
Also, you want to credit McMurray. He's had some great runs in this drive and gives some great extra effort and just did an excellent job this time.
25 carries now for 147 yards in the game.
And also, you got to credit Lauren Lassiter for getting up off the bench over there and giving his team a psychological lift. He's the heart and soul of this team, and he's really giving them a boost here. The extra point attempt is up, and it is good. And with 9:57 to go in the football game, Gallatin leads Clinton 21-7.
Drive 93 yards in 9 plays resulted in an 8-yard touchdown run by McMurray. The big play was a 39-yard run by McMurray.
It's not a time now for Clinton to panic, but they do have to find something that will work for them offensively. I think they're going to have to get the ball into Witt's hands somehow to make something happen.
Bronson Woods took the kickoff and returned it up to about the 27-28-yard line. And that time doing a great job on containment on the kickoff team was number 21 for Gallatin, and that is Jody McMurray. His relative Jeremy has gotten a lot of the attention tonight, and rightfully so, but he came up with a big play there on special teams.
Well, the Gallatin drive we just saw was very reminiscent of what happened in the semifinal game. They were in a situation where they were up by a couple points, and they took the ball about 90 yards against Henry County.
There's Scotty Witt. He broke into the clear. He could go all the way. Got a pretty good angle on him. He's down to the 20. He's still on his feet. 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Dragons.
Wow.
What more can you say?
Well, told you they needed to get into his hands.
Good call, Coach.
73-yard touchdown run for Scotty Witt has electrified the Clinton crowd, who is here in mass, and has shocked the Gallatin Green Wave crowd, who had just thought that, frankly, they might have wrapped up this game with a touchdown to give them two touchdown advantage, but we got a football game again. Dontrell Witt
Is in the game, but wide.
but is not attempting to kick the extra point as Clinton is going for 2. One back. Scotty Witt is in the slot to the left. Now he moves from left to right. He looks like he has man-to-man coverage. The pass is out there to him. Oh, what a great hit. Great hit that time. Coming off of his man was number 32, Tyrone Smith. He had covered a man who had gone into the end zone. He saw the short pass going underneath to Witt, and he came off of him and just made the stop short of the 2-point conversion. And so with 9:25 to go in the football game, Gallatin leads Clinton 21-13.
Scoring drive was Scotty Witt. 73-yard run, 1 play, and what a time for that. We were looking at a situation where Clinton was in real trouble, and he came up big. Scotty Witt came up big and got him back in this ball game.
They kicked the ball short to number 26, who took it at the 20-yard line and ran it all the way across the field and got about 13 yards after the 33. That is Brian Black, who took it over there and went all the way across the field, and Gallatin will have pretty good field position, 1st and 10 from their own 33-yard line with 9:18 to go in the football game. And Gallatin's task now is run the clock, use time, and hopefully get something on the scoreboard as well, because even a field goal puts it back to a 2-score game for Gallatin, in Gallatin's favor. And with 9:10 to go in the 4th quarter, Gallatin wants to take a timeout.
kickoff, Jason Leinhardt did a great job getting in there and making that tackle. And if he doesn't make the tackle, a good possibility they make the corner, and the wall was beginning to form.
The timeout was taken there because I think that Lassiter is still struggling with that injury that he sustained earlier. McMurray gets the pitch on the short side of the field and takes it from the line of scrimmage, which was the 33, out to about the 37 or 8 yard line, a pickup of nearly 5. It'll be second down and 5 on the play. He slipped at that point, or that play could have gone a lot further.
Well, you mentioned Gallatin's task as being taking the ball now and keeping it, driving it downfield. Clinton's task, obviously, is to get them off the field and get the ball back in the hands of your offense. Maybe bring Scotty Witt again.
We'll try to keep you up to date on the clock. They're going to snap this ball with about 8.5 minutes to go in the game, and that clock is becoming one of the most important factors in the game. The pitch to McMurray. This time he eludes a tackler in the backfield, spins out of a tackle. He's at the 50-yard line, battling with Scotty Witt down the field, and Witt gets a little bit of help finally from Yock Weaver and knocks McMurray out of bounds at the 31-yard line. A great run and a good pickup for Gallatin, and it's another 1st and 10 for the Green Wave.
Two things he did there. One was the spin move, as you pointed out, but also a couple of great stiff arms to clear himself and get some room from the defenders.
Well, the very first thing he did was at the point he got the handoff, he almost was knocked down immediately. And then he spun free from another tackler about another yard or two downfield, and then he just turned on his speed.
Clinton had a stunt on that time and stunned their linebacker. And, you know, once you break that initial wave of defenders, the field's kind of open, and that's what he did.
The Gallatin line jumped just a little bit there as Clinton had actually come into the game with what looks like a goal line type defense. 5 down defensive linemen into the game, and maybe it caused a little bit of blocking scheme confusion for Gallatin, and somebody moved on that front wall, and so it'll be a 5-yard step off against the Green Wave. Glad to see Scott Page, who had limped off the field a moment ago, back into the game for Clinton. Now, actually, I think he came off the field, in fact, but he was in the game on that previous play, so he is apparently not too seriously injured. There's McMurray. He does not go down with the first hit, and he has just been an absolutely fantastic second effort runner tonight.
Well, we've outlined what kind of game he's had tonight, and we've even talked about what kind of season he's had, but he's also had a great career. But with tonight's game, he's going to be close to 3,700 yards in his career, just a junior.
He got 4 of the 5 back, and it'll be second down and 11, and there are 7 minutes and 52 seconds left to go in the football game. Gallatin leads 21-13 over Clinton. The tight end and the slot back are to the right or short side of the field, and Clinton reacts accordingly. Now the slot back goes in motion. And there may be single coverage on the wideout. He's looking at Hall. There he is, wide open downfield, just over the outstretched hands of Hall. I don't know if Scotty Witt got a hand on it or not. Witt was back there, and he's at least 6'2", maybe even 6'3", and did a good job in reacting to the football, and perhaps got a fingertip on that one to break it up with 7.5 minutes to go in the football game. Gallatin now faces 3rd and 11.
If he didn't tip it, perhaps he screened off the receiver from the ball for just a moment, and that could be all it takes to break up the pass. You're in a situation now where you're obviously too deep for a field goal, and maybe you're in 4 down territory. Maybe you have 2 downs to make this 11 yards.
Might look for a short pass and then go back with another short pass instead of trying to get it all in one chunk. Lassiter rolls out. There's a penalty flag on the play. They do throw short to the slot back, I believe. That was the slot back, Ashley Brooks. And he got it at about the 26 or 27-yard line with the penalty flag.
From the indication of the Clinton contention, I think it's against Gallatin. I did not see the preliminary indication.
I'm not certain, but the flag was kind of thrown during the time of the play where possible illegal procedure, but we'll just have to wait and see on that.
If it's a 5-yard penalty, do you go ahead and take the penalty and make it 4th down? Take the penalty and do the play over, or do you take the play and have it 4th and about 6?
I think you have to take the penalty, and I think that's what they're going to do right here. I think yardage is a little bit more important at this point because I think, as you mentioned earlier, that Gallatin is in fourth down territory, so you definitely want to make it tougher.
It's third and long for the Green Wave, and basically the same type of situation since they are in four down territory. They'll have 2 plays to get this 16 or 17 yards. Whistle, and there may be a delay of game here as the back judge threw his flag before the play was underway, and that is the indication. Delay of game against Gallatin.
3 plays in a row, we've seen Gallatin put this formation and put a man in motion. And the previous 2 times, the man in motion became wide open. And the first time, of course, they go downfield for the incompletion. And last time, they go to the man in motion, and he was able to get about a 7 or 8 yard gain.
Josh Fisher and Ashley Brooks have been rotating at that slot back spot or wing back spot, and they've both done effective jobs all year long for the Green Wave.
Penalties in this drive have really hurt Gallatin. That's their 3rd penalty right here in the last few minutes. Unofficially, we had them for 8 penalties for the game.
3rd and 22, according to the scoreboard. Lassiter looking for a receiver, and now he eludes some pressure, dumps it short to Brooks. He picks up a blocker in the middle of the field and gets down close to the first down. What a great run and a great effort by Ashley Brooks.
The blocker you mentioned was Jeremy McMurray. And very possibly that block is going to allow them to have a first down.
If not a first down, it certainly got them close enough to where leaves very little doubt as to what they'll do on 4th down here. They'll definitely go for it as the play comes in from the sidelines in the person of Josh Fisher.
Tremendous job by Lassiter to buy some time, and then a good job by the receiver to come back and find an open spot and get the ball.
Wouldn't be surprised to see Lassiter take it himself, but don't know there. Clinton looks like they're in a goal line defense, and there's a power I formation in the backfield. They give us to McMurray. He's hit in the backfield. He's stopped. Stopped at the 25-yard line. And with 5 minutes and 59 seconds to go, the Dragons will get the ball back. And even though there's a good bit of time left, you might see them begin to conserve some of that time, maybe by their play calling or looking to work the sidelines to get out of bounds whenever possible.
Tremendous job that time by the whole entire defense, but Teddy Phillips came through and stopped McMurray short in the first down.
He was actually just inside the 25 at about the 24, and that's where the Dragons take it over. The delay to Witt, and he breaks right up the middle, an explosion, a quick burst of speed there at about the 26 or 27 yard line, took him near the first down at about the 33. I believe it's going to be 2nd and 1, and we're at the 5.5 minute mark of the football game. And now if you're Clinton, you not only have to think about calling the plays to get down in position for this drive, but in the back of your mind, Coach Jimmy Gaylor has to be thinking about the 2-point conversion play. What are we going to run to try to tie this football game up? And that's about all they can do is to try to tie, unless they score very quickly and then try to stop them with their defense.
We saw an excellent athletic move there by Scotty Witt. Jeremy Hill had excellent penetration. He read the play perfectly, and Scotty was just able to get out of his grasp and get some yardage.
They run the option left to the wide side of the field to Witt, and he got the pitch from Scarborough, and he took it across the 35-yard line out to about the 37, and that's plenty for the first down. It'll be 1st and 10 with 4:45 to go in the in the fourth quarter for the Dragons.
Hall did an excellent job right then of playing off the quarterback and taking the pitch man. His main responsibility is to make the quarterback pitch, but he did a good job of covering both men that time.
4.5 minutes to go in the football game. And there's a busted play, and now Scarborough's just going to run it to the sidelines and did not get out of bounds.
Well, that's something he'd like to do over again. I'm sure had gotten all he could get out of it and should have just tucked out of bounds. But a lot of times you don't think about those things in the heat of battle.
Clock is still running at the 4:05 mark of the football game. The ball is just outside the 40-yard line. It looks like 2nd and about 7. Scarborough pitches to Witt on the right side, looking to get outside, and knifing through there to wrestle him to the ground was number 78 for Gallatin, Jimmy Hill.
Jimmy gets up a little ginger there. I don't know exactly what happened, but he's limping a little bit. He's going to stay in the game. And that's the second time I've talked about him in the last few plays where he's done a really good job of reading the play and getting penetration.
And he's a 6'3", 240-pound sophomore. A lot of more football for Jimmy Hill for the Green Wave.
Big third down play.
Leinert goes in motion. They throw it, and now they're throwing again downfield. The receiver is there. The ball is thrown. Great catch. Great catch by Watson all the way down at the 20-yard line. They set up a flare pass or a swing pass to Yock Weaver, and Weaver lofted it downfield to his fellow receiver, Watson, and Watson made a diving catch. He actually had looked over his right shoulder and then had to turn back over his left and caught it down at the 21-yard line with 3:12 to go in the football game. Clinton's in great shape here to try to push it in and then go for two to tie.
41-yard gain, and you're absolutely right. Watson's reaction and correction to change shoulders was just unbelievable.
Pitches to Witt. Coming up from his corner spot, there's Tyrone Smith. And we called Tyrone's name a few moments ago when Clinton had scored the touchdown and went for two. He came off his man and made the two-point conversion saving tackle on Witt at that point. And now he makes a big play for a loss of two, maybe even three. The ball's at the 23-yard line with 2:37 to go in the football game. And big play by Smith.
Going back to Weaver's pass, he's now 8 of 11 for the year, so he's got quite a completion percentage.
There's a fade pattern intended for Watson. There's a penalty flag on the play. The pass fell incomplete, and we'll see what the call is. Offensive pass interference is the indication.
Penalty is offensive interference against Watson, and the signal from the official was that his loss of down plus the penalty. So a very costly penalty. Well, you're looking at third, and it's hard to see that far, but almost 30 yards, about 28 yards.
The ball's all the way back at the 39-yard line. They had gotten down to the 21, or inside the 21 on this possession. The quick pass is intended out there for Watson, and it's intercepted, no, incomplete. Goodrich is claiming that he had the ball, but as he was going to the turf, he bobbled it, and the pass was called incomplete. And so it'll be 4th and 28 from the 39-yard line.
I'll tell you what Clinton was trying to set up, it looked like to me, is maybe a hitch and ladder. Hit the ball down a little bit, about 10 yards down, and then had the running backs come along and take a pitch. Just didn't quite work out. Fourth down situation now, and Clinton, of course, has got to get down to about the 11-yard line for a first down, and the penalty looks like a delay of game penalty. One thing to remember here is if Clinton does not convert this, they still have all three of their timeouts left, and very possibly will get the ball back. Now, if they turn the ball over here at the 42-yard line, they're obviously going to lose field position. Gallatin's punter has been averaging about 30, 35 yards net, so it's going to definitely lengthen the field on him. That's assuming that Clinton can stop Gallatin without some first downs.
4th and 33, and Gallatin has defensive backs 15 and 20 yards off the ball. Looking long downfield, and the pass is up for Witt. He's got it! He's got it! And he steps out of bounds short of the first down.
Unbelievable.
Stepped out of bounds at the 13-yard line, just 2 yards short of the first down. He needed to get to the 11. And so the ball will go over on downs with 2:06 to go to the Gallatin Green Wave. And all they are is a couple of first downs from a state championship.
What an athletic move to catch the football. Unfortunately, he was so close to the sideline he couldn't right himself and get down the sideline. Just an unbelievable effort. But what Clinton does here, even though they turned the ball over, is they at least put Gallatin in a situation that if they can't stop them and call their 3 timeouts, they're going to get the ball back about midfield and have a chance to at least get a touchdown.
Scotty Witt needed 33 yards. He got 31, and so Gallatin will take over on their own 13-yard line. The pitch is to who else? McMurray. He's out to the 25, out to the 27, maybe even the 28-yard line. A pickup of 15 on the play. And so with less than 2 minutes to go, 1:58 to go, Gallatin has a first down.
And that's going to keep Clinton from being able to use their timeouts and allow Gallatin to run another half a minute off the clock at least.
The clock is started as the chain is set.
Jeremy McMurray now has the 200-yard mark unofficially on 30 carries.
Lassiter letting a little bit of that time elapse. Veteran quarterback, he gives to McMurray, and McMurray gets about 5 more yards from the 28. Might have even gotten 6 out to the 34. And now I believe the Dragons are going to call timeout. Someone is hurt for Clinton, and now they do call the timeout, I believe.
That may be Jason Leinart, who is
was Jason Leinart who came off the field there with the injury. He was holding his left arm or left hand, I believe, for the Dragons. Into the game, number 31, Pooh Willis for Clinton. And the pitch is to McMurray, and McMurray got up close to the first down, but I believe he's going to be about a yard short, and Clinton may want to use their second timeout here. Now they're calling it with 1 minute 10 seconds to go. Clinton has used their second timeout.
Remember, just a few moments ago, Gallatin was faced with 4th and 1, and Clinton came up big and stopped him. And they went to McMurray on that play. I would not be surprised to see a quarterback sneak right here.
This is 3rd and 1 with 1 minute 10 to go. They give to the fullback Inman, and he slammed into the pile, and we'll just have to let them unstack them and see. They call timeout for the measurement. It's an official's timeout, and so that's going to be in Clinton's favor.
Well, obviously, this is a very important measurement. If Gallatin makes the first down, Clinton cannot stop the clock but one more time, and Gallatin can obviously run it out. If they didn't make it, Clinton will use their last timeout, and then Gallatin will be facing a situation to punt more than likely. It's hard to tell from here if he made it or if it's going to be a little bit short.
Big mark and big measurement. They stretch the chains, and it's 1st and 10 for Gallatin with 1 minute 2 to go in the football game. And with only 1 timeout left, I believe, by Clinton, then that could possibly wrap up the Clinic Bowl, the state championship for 1992 for the Green Wave. And we're not going to say it's over until the last second is ticked off the clock, but what a great game by both teams. It's just been a well-played football game. Neither team has quit, and both teams have played their hearts out there. And now it looks like that Lassiter is going to kneel down back at the 35-yard line. With 37 seconds to go, Clinton calls their, I believe, 3rd and final timeout. The scoreboard still says 2, but I think they have used 2. And so we'll just watch the scoreboard and see if that is their 3rd.
Well, tremendous. Tremendous effort by both teams, as you pointed out, and this game has definitely lived up to its billing. You're looking at a situation where 2 teams came in here undefeated, both wanting this very badly, and both played like it. These Clinton seniors are part of a program they've really done a great thing for this program. They are 29-6 prior to this game the last 3 years, and have really got Clinton on solid footing for their football program.
And there's a lot of storylines here. Certainly Lauren Lassiter getting up off the bench after his injury and coming back in the game and sparking his team. But what about Jeremy McMurray, the tailback? Last year in the championship game, in which Gallatin lost really rather soundly to a strong Oak Ridge football team, McMurray was injured very early on and probably tried to play some when he shouldn't have. And frankly, because of that injury, he didn't have a very good game. But tonight, he has the game of his life. And as you pointed out earlier, he's just a junior. He goes for over 200 yards unofficially. And I believe that's the last snap. 10 seconds and 9 seconds, and the Gallatin faithful are counting down the clock, and the green wave is sweeping over the field, and this Class AAA football game is over. The 1992 state championship goes to the Gallatin Green Wave from Sumner County.
They say a lot of times you've got to be in a state championship before you can win one, and if that's the case, Clinton's got good things ahead for them. Of course, Gallatin's been here a number of times. They were here just last year as a runner-up, and this year they've come through with the big victory. And they really weren't sure they were going to be here at the beginning of the year. They looked at this team and really weren't sure if this was going to be the type of team that would make it here, and obviously they've surprised all. And Calvin Short's a big part of why they're here. This will be his 196th win at Gallatin, just a tremendous program.
Excellent sportsmanship being displayed by both teams down on the field, as doubtless the Clinton Dragon players are just heartsick, and yet they show good sportsmanship by congratulating the Green Wave of Gallatin, and a great celebration of family and friends and players and coaches down on the field for the Green Wave. The gold helmets with the green G on them are being raised, a sign of victory out near the middle of the field. And the dejected Dragons will come back to their sideline, and we'll go down to the field for the presentation of the runner-up and championship trophies.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you will clear the field, we will proceed with the trophy presentations. And if you will direct your attention to the center of the field, Mr. Tom Herbert and Mr. George Schultz, the co-chairman of the 1992 Clinic Bowl, along with Mr. Ronnie Carter, the executive director of the TSSAA, and Mr. Marcus Berg of American General Life and Accident Insurance Company will present the trophies for this Class AAA championship. In years past, there has been a Most Valuable Player award given after each game. This year, they're making a change. There are two Most Valuable Players, the Most Valuable Lineman and the Most Valuable Back. The award for the Most Valuable Lineman goes to number 78 of Gallatin, Jimmy Hill. And the trophy for the Most Valuable Back in this ball game, is there any doubt, number 20, Jeremy McMurray. And now presenting the runner-up award to the coach of the Clinton Dragons, Coach Jimmy Gaylor. The Clinton Dragons. And presenting the trophy to the winning coach, Calvin Shorts. And the 1992 AAA champs, the Green Wave of Gallatin.
The MVPs in tonight's game, the lineman Jimmy Hill from Gallatin in a great game, just a sophomore, played excellent football tonight. The back, Jeremy McMurray from Gallatin. Unofficially, we have him for 32 carries, 210 yards. Just a tremendous football game by the Gallatin Green Wave.
Gallatin takes home their third state championship trophy to Sumner County with a big win in tonight's AAA state championship game. And this speaks well for Tennessee football because Clinton High School had been highly regarded nationally, and Gallatin comes in here and pulls what some would suggest would be an upset. For Video Sports, I'm Steve Lusk along with Billy Ringgold and Greg Lusk, telling you that the final score of the AAA state championship game is Gallatin 21, Clinton 13.